9 a.m. A judge signed a release order. 2 p.m. She called the police and reported he had threatened to kill her. 6 p.m. The judge who signed the release order at 9 a.m. was home for dinner by 6. He never knew her name. Her name was Teresa Malone. She was 29. For 2 years, she had been trying to leave Daniel Reeves. She left 3 times. He found her 3 times. She filed restraining orders twice. The first was violated 4 times before it expired. The second was violated twice, and after the second violation, Reeves was arrested. He spent 11 days in the county jail and was released on his own recognizance. Teresa carried a manila folder everywhere she went. Inside were 43 documents, police reports, restraining orders, violation notices, photographs, and printed text messages. Each page dated, each message preserved. She knew the system had a short memory. She believed the folder might not save her, but it could remember what others would forget. Daniel Reeves's criminal and psychiatric history was not a mystery to the judicial system. His record included 2 prior arrests for domestic violence involving different victims and a protective order violation in another county. In 2019, he underwent a psychiatric evaluation that described an elevated risk of targeted violence toward intimate partners. That evaluation was in his file. The file was on the judge's desk. The judge had 47 cases on his docket that morning. He averaged 4 minutes per case. Daniel Reeves's case received 3 minutes and 40 seconds. The release order was signed at 9:14 a.m. Teresa found out Reeves had been released when he called her from outside her apartment building at 11:45. She did not answer. She told her sister, who urged her to call the police. At 2 p.m., Teresa reported to dispatch that Reeves had called her 12 times since 11:45 and sent 14 texts. 3 contained explicit threats. The officer who took the call logged it as an information report and advised she document the messages and come to the station if she felt her safety was at risk. No unit was dispatched. The call was not flagged as a priority. The ticket was closed. At 5:51 p.m., Teresa made a call to 911. The call lasted 8 seconds before the line went dead. Dispatch records later showed an incomplete call. The dispatcher said the line cut off before an address could be obtained. There was no record of a unit being dispatched in response. At 6:17 p.m., a neighbor found Teresa on the floor of her apartment. Her phone lay beside her. She was dead. 40 minutes after the discovery, Daniel Reeves was arrested at a gas station 3 miles away. He did not resist. He told officers he had not meant for it to go that far. He was charged with first-degree murder, pleaded guilty 18 months later, and received a 22-year sentence. He will be eligible for parole in 14 years, at which point he will be 59. Accountability measures were limited. The judge who signed the release order was never disciplined. His court administrator released a statement asserting standard procedure had been followed and that the outcome, while tragic, did not reflect judicial failure. The officer who took Teresa's 2 p.m. call was placed under internal review. The review found no policy violation, and he remained on active duty. At sentencing, Teresa's sister brought the manila folder into the courtroom and held it up. 43 documents, 2 years of trying to make the system understand what was coming. She told the court Teresa had done everything she was told to do: document, report, trust the process. The process, she said, had sent the man who killed her home that morning with a signed piece of paper and no warning to anyone. This is a story about more than one woman and one man. It is a study of institutional time, how minutes and procedures, when treated as routine, can become the agents of harm. It is about the assumptions embedded in law enforcement triage, judicial calendars, and the bureaucratic language that turns imminent danger into paperwork. When systems operate without pause, they often defer to process rather than to peril. That difference has human cost. For listeners, the case raises concrete questions. How do courts weigh past psychiatric evaluations and prior violence when making release determinations? How do dispatch protocols treat incomplete calls and threats reported without visible injury? What safeguards exist to prevent a documented pattern of escalation from being reduced to a single case note in a crowded docket? These are procedural questions with moral urgency. Teresa Malone's folder is both evidence and indictment. It is a record of failure, yes, but also a map showing where policy met practice and where practice failed to protect a life. It demands scrutiny of the systems entrusted to keep people safe and clarity about what standard procedure really means when seconds count. 9 a.m., a judge signed a release order. By 6 p.m., Teresa Malone was dead. The judge was home for dinner. The officer who ignored her 2 p.m. call was back on patrol the next morning. Daniel Reeves will be eligible for parole in 14 years, and the system that handed him the opportunity to kill her called it standard procedure. Subscribe to Case Files TV. Every week, the cases the headlines covered, and the ones the system called procedurally correct.